While the Democrats are showing a unified front, Republicans are going at each other, ripping each other apart, led by Donald Trump. He fired off several tweets after House Speaker Paul Ryan said he would no longer defend him. One tweet says, quote, "It is so nice that the shackles have been taken off me and I can now fight for America the way I want." Another says, despite winning the second debate in a landslide, I don't know what he's reading, "It is hard to do well when Paul Ryan and others give zero support." He goes on to say, "Our very weak and ineffective leader, Paul Ryan, had a bad conference call where his members went wild at his disloyalty." But despite the angry tweets, some Republicans are standing up for Trump. Florida Senator Marco Rubio said, quote, "I ran against Donald Trump, and while I respect if voters chose him as a GOP nominee, I've never hesitated to oppose his policies I disagree with. I have consistently rejected his offensive rhetoric and behavior. I disagree with him on many things, but I disagree with his opponent on virtually everything. I wish we had better choices for president, but I do not want Hillary Clinton to be our next president, and therefore my position has not changed." That is despite, of course, a big Newsweek article that lays out how Donald Trump essentially broke the American embargo against Cuba. Rubio, Cuban-American. But here's what Rubio said last week. Donald's comments were vulgar, egregious, and impossible to justify. No one should ever talk about any woman in those terms, even in private. Trump's rival, Texas Senator Ted Cruz, still says he plans to support Donald Trump.
I am supporting the Republican nominee because I think Hillary Clinton is an absolute disaster. Now, my differences with Donald, I have articulated at great length during the campaign.
President Obama is criticizing both of these senators, along with other Republicans, for still supporting Trump. He also is calling out others who are just now distancing themselves from Trump, considering his previous controversial comments.
There are still a number of Republican elected officials, some of whom I know and I'm sure are embarrassed and say, wow, that was a really terrible thing he said. But they can't bring themselves to say, I can't endorse this guy. And by the way, why did it take so long for some of them to finally do walk away? I mean, we saw this coming. He's been saying really bad stuff for a while now. What did you think? He was just gonna transform himself? I mean, I'm 55, and it's hard for me to change. I know at 70 it's going to be harder.
Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton was in Miami campaigning alongside former VP Al Gore. He talked about climate change and, of course, the importance of voting, considering he lost by 537 votes in the 2000 presidential election. Of course, that's Al Gore there in Miami. And one of the reasons he's talking climate change, to target millennial voters who are soft on supporting Hillary Clinton. But as Clinton campaigns, WikiLeaks released more emails supposedly from her campaign chairman. According to the leaked emails, a close confidant suggested Clinton give her email server to a third party, saying the FBI couldn't touch him. The campaign also strategized on how to address Black Lives Matter and what they thought of Donald Trump early in the race. So, all quite interesting. Also, the campaign was reportedly given a heads up about Bernie Sanders' African-American outreach plan. The Clinton team blamed the leaked emails on what U.S. intelligence says is Russian hacking, possibly to influence the election on behalf of Donald Trump. All quite interesting. There's another part of the recent leak that was interesting, of course. You have folks who are saying that Donna Brazile gave the folks with the Clinton campaign a heads up on the town hall we did. But the reality is this here. The questions that I posed were for both candidates. I sent my questions to our producer, to the CNN folks and the TV One folks. And so we had the town hall, asked the questions. We didn't even know who the panelists were even asking the questions. The brother who was there, who was on death row. And so that's also a part of this. WikiLeaks also will be dropping other emails as well. Let's go to our panel. Liz Copeland, that's founding president, Urban Conservative Project, Inc. Faraji Muhammad, host of Listen Up on WEAA 88.9. Lauren Victoria Burke, political analyst and writer for NBC Black. Folks, you're looking at this whole back and forth. President Obama, very, very strong on the campaign trail. But this war among Republicans is interesting because you have Republicans who are saying, wait a minute, we got to stick with him or we're going to get killed down ballot. But then other Republicans are saying, no, Liz, if we stick with this man, we're going to get killed down ballot and up ballot. They are in a quandary.
That's one way to put it. This is a lose-lose scenario, but as a conservative, I think it's very important for other conservatives to realize that we cannot put our party and a platform, which I would argue is better for the American people, better for African Americans, especially in the city, over Democratic policies. We can't put the party and platform over a candidate who has consistently shown that, one, he's not consistently conservative, and two, he doesn't deserve the office of presidency. He doesn't have self-control. He has no substantive policy. He is wrong for America.
Lauren, the hate for President Obama and the hate for Hillary Clinton, when you have evangelicals who literally are just excusing anything this guy says, that means everything they said for 40 years has been a lie,
well,
in terms of morals and values.
Oh, this started in 2009, the first night of the president's presidency, with this plan to obstruct him at all costs. And that Tea Party plan really had no ideology other than stopping the president.
Right.
So you saw the primarying of, sort of mainstream Republicans for the last 6 years. You see the arrival of people in Congress like Tom Cotton and Ted Cruz, who are here to do absolutely nothing except run their mouth. There is no ideology. The ideology is hating the president. That's it. So when that's all you've got, and then you nominate somebody with no policy, with no nothing, and then you've got some racist dude that runs a website running his campaign, and David Bossie, this is what you end up with. There's nothing here. There's nothing to see. It's a road to nowhere. And it's been like that for 6 years.
And for Roger, what you're dealing with here is, again, you're dealing with a soft candidate on the side of Hillary Clinton. Millennial voters are not excited about her. High disapproval numbers. But what you have with Donald Trump, constantly erratic. Again, when you send tweets at 3 o'clock in the morning attacking a former Miss Universe, and then you're attacking the Speaker of the House, who has tried as best as he could to keep folks in line. I mean, again, if you're a Republican or even Democrat, you got to be asking yourselves, how unstable would this guy be sitting in the Oval Office?
Very big question, but I mean, look, let's be for real. We knew all of this about Trump before he even got into office. We knew that he was a misogynist. We knew that he was not knowledgeable about the political landscape. We knew all of these things before he even got into office. So at this point, I mean, it's important that we look at how Marco Rubio's stance is. He is so dedicated to going against Hillary. He's almost saying, well, you know what? I don't know.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, all I'm saying, bottom line is, look, we don't care what happens to anybody. Bottom line is this here. We're going to sit here and just oppose anything because, look, again, hating Obama, hating Clinton. That's what you got going on there.
Right.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.